Good morning, everyone. Welcome you all for our third meetup under Azure Developer Community. And today we have Aravind from Elastic. So this is going to be the first session of this meetup under Elastic on Azure. So we have one more meetup by Aravind in next month. So before we get started with today's session, I'll just quickly brief you about what is this Azure Developer Community, because this whole session is being run under Azure Developer Community. So let me present my screen, and yes, so this is the official website for Azure Developer Community. So we have started with the motive of like upskilling everybody in India. So from whichever part of India you are. So we are just trying to help everybody to upskill and grow. So right now we are in 101 cities in India already, and we have already 2,700 plus members in this community. So we started this community on 26th of January this year, and it has not been even like 2 months since we started. So this is the motive, like we want all of you to learn. So there are so many people who are like looking for an opportunity to learn, like where they can excel themselves. So this community will give you that opportunity to learn on different things. So how to do that? Like you can attend regular sessions, how we are doing today. So these speakers are industry experts, and they'll be sharing their knowledges and experiences. So by attending their sessions, you can definitely get like excel yourself. Then obviously in community, we believe in like helping each other, and that only comes when you network and connect with so many people. So here you have the opportunity to network with people, not only so in this community you'll have like so many like-minded people who are very passionate about technologies, communities, and helping each other. So yeah, and the third thing is we want you to upskill. So it's not just about learning and networking, upskill within yourself. So we're also giving you opportunity to showcase skills or what you have learned. So you can be also a speaker in future. So if you want to share a knowledge with the community, then we would welcome you. So this is a stage where you can showcase your knowledges and experiences. So yeah, this is what Azure Developer Community is. And so as you can see, like today we have Arvind's session. Then we also have some upcoming events under Azure Developer Community. So on 24th and 25th, we have Cloud Community Days. So this is going to be a 2-day conference, and this is not the first time we are doing this. So we did Cloud Community Days last year as well in 2020, and this is the second time we are doing. This time we are following two different themes for the conference. On 24th, we are going to have serverless, and on 25th, we are going to have DevOps. So we have amazing speaker lineup. We have 11 different industry experts, out of which we'll have 9 uh, like sessions, like typical technical sessions with hands-on demos, and also we have 2 workshops on serverless and DevOps. So this is the agenda for 24th of March, which is serverless, and then for 25th we are going to follow the theme of DevOps. So we also have a workshop on DevOps, and followed by we have sessions. So if you haven't registered and you want to like learn on cloud technologies, specifically on serverless and Azure, so this is the right platform for you. So you can go ahead and register for the conference. It's happening on 24th and 25th. And also we have one more meetup in this month, which is 28th of March by Ashirwad. So he's going to give a talk on getting started with .NET SDKs of Azure. So if you are already part of Azure Developer Community, then you can register for the meetup event from your respective meetup groups. And if you are not a part of any meetup groups, then I would suggest you to join your nearest community. How to do that? Suppose if I am from Indore, then I just need to search for Indore, and there is a community already in Indore. Also, you can search in through this map. So we are like covering almost every place in India. So you can join your nearest community, and once you join the community, you can see the upcoming events through that, and you can register for that. So once you register for the event, you will be getting regular notifications like what is the link to join the session and other things. So yeah, this is about Azure developer community, and we also have partnering communities. We have amazing partnering communities who are helping us to reach everyone who are interested to get upscale. So they are helping us to achieve this goal. So this is what, and there is one more thing, which is Azure developer stories. So we are inviting people to share their experiences on Azure. So suppose if you have built anything on Azure, like I have built a project on Azure, so you just need to write a blog, or you can even create a screencast video of it, like how you have done that, what are the Azure services you have used, and this will be very helpful for the community. So basically, we are going to share your blogs and videos with the community members so that they can learn from them by reading our experiences. So this is how the Azure Developer Stories is. So the last date for submission is 3rd of April. So if you haven't started yet, you can go ahead and write a blog or create a video for that. And you can find all the details in this website. So we have 3 different categories: Python, Node.js, and .NET. And we'll also be sharing the link of this website in the comment box. So with that, so apart from that, after Arvind's session, we also have a quiz, like how we do every time. So that's why we want you to attend this session very carefully, because most of the questions will be from Arvind's session. So we just don't want you to just learn. We also want you to test yourself, like what you have learned actually, so that you can upskill. All right. So I will bring Arvind from Elastic on stage. Hello, Arvind.
Hey Rohit, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Hope there is no lag or delay in whatever I'm presenting. I could see that there is a bit of delay. If not,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
That is very nominal actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Cool.
Arvind,
We'll get started.
yes, you can give a quick introduction about yourself, because a lot of people would be new. So you
Yeah.
can give
So
a
I'll
quick introduction about like what you do and what your today's session is going to be about, and then we
yeah
can
I'll
get started.
yeah I'll do that. I have slides also for that, and I'm happy to do it while presenting. I'll do that definitely. If you could put the
Sure,
screen, the share screen, we'll get started, and I'll do all of that.
sure. Are you presenting your slide?
Yeah, it's already there. I have added. Could you please add the share screen?
I'm not able to see your screen.
Okay, let me add it again so that. Let's see. Yeah, can you see that now?
Yes, I can see.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So right now it's
Great.
yes.
So
Yeah.
okay, then we'll just get started. Can you see my screen fully? Is the screen is the screen full screen? Can you see that?
Yes, it's fully
Okay,
visible.
okay. Thank you, Rohit. I think then it's good. We'll get started.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Rohit, Confirm, and all the Microsoft team in getting this platform arranged. I should say platform because this is going to be an awesome platform for a lot of developers to upskill, reskill, cross skill, whatever you call. Because the reason being, it's very important to learn multiple stuff. Even for me, right? I want to learn as many as technologies, and then build stuff just for fun. In the course, if I get paid for it, get a job, then it would be awesome as well. I was learning Tailwind yesterday, and it's pretty interesting as well. So today, what we are gonna do here is we'll learn pretty much basics about getting started with Elasticstack. or Elasticsearch, Kibana, Logstash, Beats, and I want to make it as simple as possible. But you keep if you feel that I didn't cover enough thing, we also have another session. So if you're intermediate or if you're an advanced user attending this session, please write in comments that you need more. We are happy to conduct those sessions as well. But that being said, this is a great start for beginners or people who already know some stuff, but maybe you might not be really knowing what more things that we have added over a period of time. So this is for such sort of audience as well. So without any further ado, I'll just quickly get started. So I'm Arvind. I am a developer advocate at Elastic. I live in Bangalore and I'm based out of Bangalore, and then I look after the India and Southeast Asia Elastic user group communities, and I also work with a lot of open source communities in and around, like Kubernetes groups, all the cloud platform user groups, and a lot of these Java user groups are my like favorite user groups as well. So I go around, like I used to go around, I should say this, because in the COVID time it's all different now. I used to go around, I used to like speak at different conferences, meetups, but now it is all speaking to the camera. It's all like I see to the camera and speak, and I don't know I what people were understanding, etc. I hope you could put more and more questions, so make it more and more interactive. So I'm available. You could see some of the guides that I write on my blog, as well as you can find out on Twitter. I write some Twitter threads sometimes. So yeah, or my DMs are open. You could also ask my. So for someone who is hearing, what is Elastic? Is this the rubber band Elastic, or is this a technology stack, or is this that Elasticsearch that I somehow heard sometime in my life when I'm talking to some developer? So actually, it is that Elasticsearch stack, and why we call Elastic Stack. I'll tell about all of that. So, but this is what is Elasticsearch. These are the components that make up the stack. Okay, and there are more things that are added over a period of time, but then this is what in crux is Elasticstack. uh, i'll I'll get deeper, we'll talk more about it, so don't worry about okay, I'm skipping up slides, maybe you need to write. No, this slide deck will also be made available so that you can take care of it. And there are a bunch of stacks that are built on Elastic Stack itself. Then like the bunch of solutions, I have to say. And some of those popular solutions are building search engines, building an observability platform, building a threat hunting or a SIEM or a security protections platform. If you are from InfoSec, you will really relate the popular terms like Sarikata, or the Zeek, or Azure, or all of these log generating platforms. Like if you are from observability, you very well know monitoring aspect, but like now, because a lot many people are like using the word observability, which is also very different from monitoring. Then you also have logs, metrics, application traces. Like if you have ever heard of the tracing your application to find out errors, etc. So you could do that, and you could also find out SLAs, etc., etc., and then obviously build cool and nice search experiences, all with a single stack with a core as Elasticsearch. So today we'll take a look at those stuff. So Elastic Stack is used by developers all around from different places around the globe. We have a very large community of users, like use large user groups. Like we run meetups every now and then. You can go and check out at community.elastic.co. We have more than 10 chapters in India as well. And then you also find DevOps practitioners, security practitioners use Elasticsearch for a wide variety of use cases that I discussed in the previous slide. And then you also have data science users use Elasticsearch for as a speed layer on top of their blob stores. I mean, like the cloud storage options, or they might be using Elasticsearch in addition to their big data pipelines. Doing a lot of stuff. We also have amazing Spark integrations to do Spark ML jobs on Elasticsearch for doing supply chain management and predictions, and a lot of stuff actually. So data science users, we also have a library called Eland, which is a data science library supporting Elasticsearch and helping you to do a bunch of stuff like pandas, etc. So I'm not going to discuss all of that because Elasticsearch is the ocean. I'll also tell you why Elasticsearch is the ocean, what are the different topics. In the end, you will get to know all of that as well. So now that being said, Elastic Stack can also be deployed on, it's a cloud agnostic platform. Obviously you could deploy it on Azure, and then you could also run it on a Kubernetes kind of services, like AKS, Azure Kubernetes service, wherein you could run this Kubernetes operator, which we are calling Elastic Cloud on Kubernetes. That means like the Elastic Cloud as such, as an package that you will be able to run on Kubernetes platform actually. So that is the deploying Elasticstack on various clouds. So if you have any questions on deploying the deployment itself, you can ask me as well. So I'm going to show you that experience of creating a cluster on cloud today. And then the stack is used at various companies. You might find some of these names like from BFSI, or and large enterprise technology companies, or e-commerce companies like Walmart, or you could find out technology pure play technology companies, which do a lot of mobile phones, etc. So multiple companies, like multiple things, etc. We have also a large customer base in India as well. So yeah, so Elasticsearch is used in different places in different areas. For knowing more, you could always go to elastic.co/customers, and then you could find use cases. You could find architecture diagrams at how people were using at various places. Now I'll take a stop, and I'll also see the key takeaways here is you learn what is a terminology, a bit of architecture, and then we'll explore, we'll go and do a demo kind of a thing, and we'll see how is it like getting started on Elasticsearch on Azure, and then we'll explore the Kibana a bit, ingest data a bit, and then we'll come back to see how do you build these search observability platforms, and then we'll see what are the ways to ingest the data from Azure, and then I also have a surprise or like some interesting thing to do. If you are a Azure customer or if you are a user, you would find it very interesting, and you are also a Azure user, you would find that very very interesting. So that being said, starting with Elasticsearch, the heart and soul of this entire stack, is a distributed system. So what you need to do is like you need to have multiple VMs or containers to run this stack. So it is a distributed system. It communicates between multiple VMs, and it creates this system called Elasticsearch Cluster. You could call this as as I said, it's a distributed system. It shares data. It's a stateful system. You could also call it's a NoSQL data store as well. It's also a search engine. So, but the data is shared between these nodes, and everything happens in and around. And you don't need to manage all of this. You just need to keep the nodes and run this Elasticsearch as a process, and ask or set what you want to do, and it will happen automatically. Okay, and then like I said, node can be a virtual machine in a cloud, or your VMware virtual machine, even if you are having a data center or a container, or even it can run any OS. It's vendor agnostic from the OS point of view as well. So you could run it on Linux, you could run it on Windows, you could run it on different flavors of Linux as well. So the important and interesting part here is Elasticsearch takes the data in documents, the JSON documents, and the documents are stored in on the disk actually. And but the logical home for data. So what it is for a table, for a SQL table, you might see the data is stored in a SQL table, right? And for a SQL DB RDBMS system, uh, but for Elasticsearch, it is the index. So index is the place where you store the data. Say for example, if you have say like for an index like apps, and you store all the data in the apps. You have an index like meta, you store all the data in the meta. So again, remember, now whatever I have built up from the last two slides, you see there are nodes run Elasticsearch, it communicates, but because also it is communicating, the index is spread over multiple nodes. I don't want to dig deeper further. There are more things like charts, replicas, and a lot of things that you might get confused if you're a beginner starting with. But those are the things that you could manage as and when you start that Elasticsearch cluster, and you will be able to learn and run that. Okay, so that is one important thing to look at. So keep posting all your questions, and I'm happy to like come back, and we'll have enough time to take all the questions. So please keep posting all the questions, so I'm happy to like kind of answer them at the end. So index has in multiple settings, we will see as part of the demo. Index has also called mappings. So you might have questions like, okay, that means I can throw anything inside Elasticsearch. Of course, yes, but it needs to be in JSON. Oh, then you might also have a question like, if it needs to be in JSON, how do I convert the data into JSON? Like, say, if I have a row in an SQL table, how do I convert that? So there are systems to help you do that in the stack. So that's why it's called a stack. It communicates with each other, the components. So you have data ingestion systems that I'll show you in a minute, which helps you to convert this single line to a JSON and helps you to take it to a format that you want. So that being said, if you want to also ingest PDFs, you also want to ingest PPTs or Excel sheets, that also contains the data, right? If you want to do a book search engine, like you want to search what's in a book, but you also have multiple books, and somebody search a specific name or a word, you want to create that. So you want to show books which has that word or a topic, so you can do that as well. So that is also a possible thing. So here what I'm trying to explain is, like, you also have all sorts of data that is being pulled into Elasticsearch, and that but this data also will have a schema. Elasticsearch is a schema free like engine, schema free data store. It is not schema less. So there's a difference between schema free and schema less. Schema free is like, you don't need to create a schema. Like when you are creating a SQL table, you might want to, like, definitely need to create table name, and you need to do like ID, where number and the apply the unique constraint, and then, like, text varchar. You need to do all of that, right? But Elasticsearch doesn't need. You just create an index, throw anything, it just creates a schema, right? That's called dynamic schema. It automatically finds out the data types. But it is also risky, because if you want to do proper analytics, we recommend you to create a proper schema. So, like, either creating an index, or after index creation, before the documents are indexed, you might want to, like, find out what is the data type, and that offers you much faster. So when I say faster, I recently realized that when I say something is not faster, I'm telling it goes into seconds. But coming from a SQL background, a friend told me that, sometimes a query might take more than 2 minutes to execute. So whenever you're saying it's not faster, that means you're still telling that Elasticsearch is around 30 seconds. 30 seconds means it's not fast, it's not slow, it's still faster. So compare it to that one. I'm saying that when you do all of this schema, etc., you will be able to kind of run this entire thing in milliseconds. Like, you fire a query to get the data, come in like 30 milliseconds, or, like, comes pretty fast. So that's kind of speed that we are expecting the system to behave, even when you are having large amounts of data, like in GBs. And you could also configure it for like TBs or petabytes of data as well. So I spoke a lot about in this slide, but I also show you in the demo as well. So don't worry about it if you are not able to get all of this. So yeah, obviously, like, Kibana is a window into Elasticsearch. It's a UI on top of your Elasticsearch APIs. Most of the APIs have UI or apps in Elasticsearch in the Kibana. Kibana contains multiple applications, like the analytics app, or, like, the observability, search, or security. We'll also explore Kibana in a minute, and then I'll come back to it, and then we'll talk more about it. So that's about the Kibana. We'll spend more time on Kibana so that you are well aware of what's Kibana. So then you also have the data ingestion tools that I was talking about 2 slides before. You have the Logstash and Beats. Logstash is like a ETL tool. It does extract, transform, and load the data. It's a pull-based tool. That means it will pull the data from various sources. If you have ever heard of a Microsoft product called, like, I guess it's Cognos or Abnitio, or there are a bunch of products. Like, you also might have heard of Informatica, wherein Informatica is a ETL tool which pulls data from various sources and runs the batch jobs, etc., on data. So Logstash is kind of a hybrid platform where it can pull data, transform it, and load it to a place. So that loading place would be Elasticsearch, but you could also move it to a place like S3, or Azure Cloud Storage, or Google Cloud Storage. You could direct the data to multiple. You could also direct the data to multiple cloud services in Azure as well. So, but the data processing happens, and to connect to these multiple systems, to do these multiple operations, you have more than 250 plugins. Some of them are contributed by community. Of course, Logstash is an open source product, And then Elasticsearch is also a free and open engine, so it's free engine. So if I have forgot to tell that, so yeah, that is also there. Kibana is also a free and open engine. And then you also have these plugins which connects to various systems, pulls the data, and then does all this analytics. It also has the ability to queue the data. It has persistent queues, dead letter queues to do all of that. But you could always put a Kafka or some sort of a queuing engine before, and then do all of that. Then the other part to Logstash, because Logstash is a pull based engine, like we also need a push based data shippers for specific use cases where you have the data to be shipped from a source to a destination like Elasticsearch. So we have built beats. Beats is also another open source project. There are multiple beats like file beat, metric beat, packet beat, audit beat, heartbeat. So multiple beats. Each beat is for a specific functionality, and specifically it can ship logs, metrics, network data, the synthetic related data, ping data, like your ICMP UDP traffic, pings, etc. It also has modules like for general purpose software. For example, you have an Nginx, or you have some sort of a Kafka. You want to monitor certain stuff in the system, in the general purpose system. You would be very easily able to do this particular monitoring by enabling this module, because we'll see the log, sanitize the log, I mean, sparse it to a structure and create the dashboards for you on the Kibana, or like push it to the apps that we have. Boom, you will have everything ready. So all that you need to do is like install this beat, do that. And also the beat is lightweight as well, so it will also process the data, remove the sensitive bits. Suppose you are logging some sort of a password related, salted password credentials, or like say masked card numbers or something. You could also do all these things with beats while sending the data, so that your sensitivity is not lost, or privacy is not lost. So all that can be done. But that being said, Logstash is the pull based, Beats the push based, and but we also have something new that has come up. Also, it's called Elastic Agent. So what we have done is like brought best of everything and made it much easier for people to do, along with antivirus protection or anti-malware protection, through which you will be able to protect your infrastructure, collect all these log sources, add integrations like at a click of button using Kibana, and a lot of these. And all of this is available on the Azure and all of this cloud, so that you will be able to do everything so easily. So essentially, this is the flow that we are talking about. Like you have Logstash and Beats which ship the data, you have your clients which ship to Logstash, and then like you also have Elasticsearch and Kibana. That doesn't mean that Elasticsearch doesn't have any APIs for users to use. You as Elasticsearch has APIs. That's why all of these systems are built parallelly to it. So you can use some Java high level client to directly interact with Elasticsearch. You could use multiple systems to directly write to Elasticsearch. It's just an API. I'll show you in a minute actually. So this is the point. I think I'll just check the questions for a bit, and then like if you have any like specific questions, I'm happy to answer, or like we'll take that. Rohit, any questions specifically? I think we are halfway past the session.
Yes. So there are a few questions.
Okay. So shall we take it now, or what do you think, or
Yeah,
shall
we
we
can
do it?
take a few of them now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Towards the end. Towards the end.
we can take one or two now
Sure.
and
Sure.
wait.
Sure. Can you
So I have
ask those
shared
questions?
one of those questions in this chat, like on
Okay.
the screen, if you can see.
Okay. 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 Nowadays, there's a lot of talk about about AI search, NLP search, the Elasticsearch support too as well. So yes, we have some sort of machine learning in Elasticsearch. You have many plugins that are there which does this tuning. Probably, if you have used some of these food delivery apps, you might very well be interacting with an Elasticsearch that does this recommendation stuff. You could build a recommendation engine on top of Elasticsearch as well. So all of this can be done actually, but we don't offer it as a service as of now today. It's like you have a named entity recognition plugin for Elasticsearch through which you could do some sort of NLP. You have this like app search, the enterprise search area through which you will be able to do all of this. So I think I didn't present one specific stuff here, which I want to do. So whenever I'm talking about all the stack, I told the core of the stack, but then through which you are able to do this. For example, I'm talking about machine learning and search, through which you'll be able to see this enterprise search apps, the search related functionality like workplace search or app search. So all of this will help you to do these search experiences, and they contain these the machine learning and all this ability to do query suggestions. Like if you're typing, we will be suggesting something that is maybe relevant, but also like it's not like search as you type directly, but it also has several other advantages using that ML based query suggestions. And then you also have these apps like observability or security that are there, which is built on top of Kibana along with this all this stack that's powering in. uh, I hope that answers the question, but if you have more questions, please ask again. Like I think I'm happy to answer something else as well. So Rohit, any other questions?
Yeah, I'll take one more question for now.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
oh,
Okay. Can you ask that question? It's
yeah.
easier.
So it's from Karthike. He's asking if it is a cluster, then how it is different from Kubernetes.
How it is different from
Kubernetes.
Okay, fine. See, exactly. So I want to get back to the thing like distributed systems is a concept. Kubernetes is a distributed system. Elasticsearch is a distributed system. You have several other distributed systems like Hadoop is a distributed system. You have popular open source projects, several open source projects. Ceph is a object store where you have it's a distributed system. You have multiple of these software systems where the data talks to Redis is a distributed system. You also have you can do all of this actually. So it shares data. It's stateful and it communicates, it forms a quorum, and it has some sort of a master data node architecture, and it manages everything within itself. So how different is it from Kubernetes? Is it's also a distributed system. Difference is Kubernetes is an orchestration platform. It's a container orchestration platform where Kubernetes contains helps you to scale up, scale down applications, but it is built for a stateless application scaling. It now, which is also like it's also like adapted with stateful sets kind of concepts to support some sort of database, distributed databases as well. So now Kubernetes is like a app platform to run small microservices in containers and scale up to thousands or like millions, etc., etc. So that's what like difference between Kubernetes. Elasticsearch is a search engine. Elasticsearch is a data store. Like your like I don't see anything that is comparable, especially in this area. To give an example, but you could also look at like the NoSQL data stores to compare if you want. So yeah, I think I'll take more questions. Definitely, I'll answer if you have beginner questions. I'm really happy to answer. There's nothing like no question is like starting or like an advanced question. So please feel free to ask. So
Yes.
I
So
guess you
there are
yeah.
actually many questions coming. So I'll hold them for after you heard this part. Maybe we can take.
Definitely. So you will get a lot things clearer once we start and do some exploration, and then like I'll come back. I'll take all the questions. That's the intent,
Sure.
to take as many as questions and answer all of them. Okay. So
Sure.
if you see here, I have this Microsoft Azure portal, and then I'm zooming it a bit so that you see everything here. So as you know, I just have my own account, my own stuff here, and then I have this SaaS platform. But before going that, if you want to search for building Elasticsearch, then you just go to Elasticsearch. You don't find anything here, which is crazy. Like how come it is there? So because we are not a Microsoft company, but we are a open source partner to Microsoft, and but there is something awesome coming up, and then I definitely want to you to wait till the end, and I'll show that, and you could probably like take a look at that and join that specific program that I'm trying to tell you. So specifically, you Elastic managed service is available in Elastic Cloud. There is something called Elasticsearch self managed, which is also a ARM template in the Azure terms. If I'd say it's like an automation template where you could deploy nodes on this thing. End of the day, you end up managing all of that. But if you choose Elastic Cloud, it's a bit easier for you to get started and do all of that. There are multiple other stuff like Bitnami, and these are not Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch being a free and open product, what happens is many people bundle that into different shapes and forms, like different products as well. So you might see popular open source systems using Elasticsearch just like that, like they bundled it. For example, if you have ever heard of OpenShift, we are an official partner to Red Hat. OpenShift ships 3 nodes of Elasticsearch. There are many platforms that ship Elasticsearch. So Bitnami is another distro, another sort of a thing. So don't worry about it. The official, you always need to look at this logo, the logo that I put up in the slide. If you see, this is the logo that you need to see to find out what is the original Elasticsearch, because Elastic.co is a creator of Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, Beats. We own the projects, and we deploy it, we develop it entirely. So I'll quickly click on this Elastic Cloud, and then you will be able to see the specific page open. Says I subscribe to so and so so and so, and then I have a resource group. You need to have a resource group. I'll quickly like click next and next, and then you will be able to kind of see everything. So I'll just review and subscribe, and I have some details. So I'll just stop sharing, and I'll add that sharing again, and I request uh, you know uh, Rohit to add it again. So what I'm doing here is like I just subscribing to Elasticsearch here, and
Arvind,
and then
we are not able to see your
yeah,
screen.
I just disabled it for the time being, and just add it as and when I
Okay,
feel,
sure, sure.
because I have my specific card details, etc. So I just want to
Okay, okay, sure.
stop it, and like I'll share you again. Yeah. Okay. So I have this specific area wherein I kind of like you could subscribe to this particular like the Elasticsearch offering on cloud. Just give me a moment. I don't know why it is taking a lot of time. Okay, fine. So I'm just adding those details here, details related to my username and password, or some specific details that are there. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. It's taking a bit of time, but I guess it should be fine now. Okay. What else is missing? Okay. Okay. Subscribe. So I'll share my screen again now, so that you could see what I have done. Rohit, could you please add my screen there? Yeah, thank you. So if you see here, I have the SaaS subscription in progress. It will enable the specific subscription that I have, and then it helps you to configure this cloud. So what are the other alternatives to do apart from this way? I'll also tell you that. So while this is being progressed, I'll just go back to the Microsoft portal, and then I'll just show you what is there in the entire thing. So if you see here, I could go and create Elasticsearch, download the Elasticsearch from this place, like say try free, and then oh, by the way, like whenever you are saying this particular I'm downloading this particular thing, you need to still be able to like run this on some sort of a cloud, and you would pay. Here the advantage is still you still pay you a discounted or a committed spend, part of your committed spend. It's still linked to your Azure billing credentials. But here, if you download this and run, you end up running or paying for Elasticsearch. I mean, you don't end up paying for Elasticsearch. You pay for Azure VM, but you also end up managing the resources like Elasticsearch. So, which is a double work for you. So, if you are using some sort of a platform like this, it's much easier. So if this I have says that this particular SaaS subscription is enabled, and then I click on configure account now. It says that signing so and so so and so. I'll just click on and then go ahead, and then once you click and take it, it takes to the cloud.elastic.co, and asks me to sign in. So I will sign in to a specific cloud. I have multiple accounts. So yeah, so I'm now logged into this specific cloud platform, which is called Elastic Cloud. So this is where you can create a deployment of Elasticsearch, and then it's easier for you to run all of this. So because we are trying to be do a generalist beginner session, I'm just trying to go with the basic stuff. You have Azure like regions here. You could choose something like Singapore and get started, like and then like say you would also customize this stuff, enable auto scaling, like scale it automatically. Remember, if you are building this on your own, you will not have that scaling these deployments whenever you have stuff like all of this. So remember, if you have uh, say for example, if you want to like do it all by yourself, you need to get these details. You'll not be able to do this auto scaling, moving the storage and RAM automatically whenever you hit thresholds, etc. So that is the speciality of using the managed service as well. So I just don't want to change anything. Of course, you could create it using the API as well. This is the cloud API, which helps you to create this. If you have a Terraform kind of experience and you want to do infrastructure as a code, you could do that. I'll simply click create deployment, and the deployment will be created. So I'll be shown a username and password, and then but it takes me to log in automatically. So so while this is getting deployed, so no worries, while this is getting deployed, I'll just go back to the presentation, and then I'll show you how you could build a search or observability platform, using by with an architecture diagram actually. So that way, like you get to know about a lot of stuff as well. So, so building a search engine is as easy as it gets. Nowadays, it's much easier with the enterprise search or app search platform. I did a talk at FOSS Asia yesterday. So if you are interested, you can go and look at that. Or I have done talk recent times also at some other conferences with like building a search experience with Elastic App Search. So you can go and look at that. If you're a front end developer, if you are someone who is very experienced at JS, TypeScript, or other platforms like React, Vue.js, or anything, you would definitely enjoy building on this platform. You will learn a lot, and you will also have fun using this particular app search platform. So you have an application layer. You either ship the data directly to this app search, which is a layer on top of search engine layer on top of Elasticsearch, and then you through which you can access everything. If not, if you are if you have a large scale engine, like say if you have something around like say a large e-commerce site, or like walmart.com or flipkart.com, or a lot of that stuff, and then you want to manage many things like product catalogs, you want to update, you want to do some specific calculations, aggregations, find out how much make it very specific to user and all. You could do all of that directly by building on Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is very popular for search engines. Almost all of the search engines that you probably search bars that you look at is mostly like Elasticsearch. So you would not realize, but that is generally the most common thing in the industry. So here we are just saying, like, you can run the application on VMs or containers or application layers, and your user is here, and then like if your user is interacting with your application Elasticsearch is a backend to it, and it works with the APIs, get you the data, and you can, like, what do you call, beautify that data and like put it in a structure that you want, all of that pretty easily. So that is where it shines very well. So search engine is one aspect, one use case. Have questions, please ask me, definitely happy to help. Again, another way to look at things, if you have infrastructure in cloud, and if you have a lot of log sources, metrics, etc., that is getting generated, it could be the same stuff that I spoke about previously, but instead of being inside the application as an backend, you could ship it to like a system, the log sources. I'll also tell you how you could ingest the data from Azure in the coming slides. But this is how you could, like, ship the data, and this is the observability solution that we'll see in a minute. And then that's how all of this works. That doesn't mean Elasticsearch is like very tight-lipped and you have only this ecosystem works with this ecosystem. It doesn't work with any other stuff. No, no, it's not like that. You could put Kafka. You could ingest metrics from Prometheus. You could use instead of Logstash. Some people use Fluentd, which is a CNCF project. Could do all of that. It is just that if you are staying in the ecosystem, or like, you would get better features. You might find you could ask us questions and we'll tell you how you can set up that. And there are a lot of people who use this free without paying any penny to us. But if you are running on a cloud, why not use it fully and get all the benefits of using that and hosting it as well? So that's the idea here. I hope that the deployment would be done. If not, yeah, so we'll just get started. We'll not discuss more about auto scaling, etc., but we'll just get with the basics because we are doing a beginner session. So it just authenticates itself into the system, and then you'll be presented with the home page with saying that multiple, stuff, etc. As you could see, it says all of that. I'll show you the menu that I am talking about. Dock navigation. I hope this is visible, but I'll also maximize it, or like improve the font so that you will be able to see this. So here you have a specific space wherein if you have multiple teams and each team needs a different access level, you could use some spaces to gather that privilege, etc. Elasticsearch provides free basic auth. That means you could add username, password authentication freely. You could also do role-based access control. So don't think that Elasticsearch, don't leave your Elasticsearch clusters unsecure. It's very risky because we are a very popular platform. There is a very good chance that your data in Elasticsearch might be getting attacked by various, like threat actors, etc. So please don't do that. So please add security to it, which is free. So again here, so you have management layers through which you will be able to do that. We'll go to the dev tools and run some APIs, but then we also have analytics, which is like overview of the data that we have added. You have canvas maps. We also have run a map service, but it's not like Google Maps. It's for B2B maps. If you want to see, if you are a Swiggy, or if you are some sort of a platform like Flipkart, or if you want to do tracking on a map where your delivery partner is, or how many deliveries are out. If you want to do such sort of analytics on maps, you could do that. If you want to find out network is coming from which IP in which location, like it's coming from Bangalore, it comes from Mumbai, it comes from Los Angeles, it comes from Beijing, you want to find out all of that, you will be able to do that. I'll not go deep into this as of now, but I will go to the dev tools and see what is there here. So let me go to the dev tools. So essentially, end of the day, you are still seeing Elasticsearch, like you're still seeing Kibana, but there's an Elasticsearch backing it to it. So how do I tell that? So you could find out, get, we are running APIs that are there on Elasticsearch, and Kibana DevTools is helping us do that. It's just a curl kind of a call that is there. So if you see here, I have the entire cluster information here, and then which says what is the version, what is the type of build, and then what are the things that are there, all of this stuff, right? So if you want to get what are the indices, like I said, that Elastic, everything is stored in indices. So if I say that, if I want to see that, like you see that there are 20 indices, we didn't create this. How did it come? So there are some system indices which are needed for security, storing Kibana settings, etc. Everything goes to Elasticsearch. Remember, Kibana is stateless. Kibana doesn't hold any data. Elasticsearch is the place where everything happens. Kibana is just a UI layer on top of it, which contains bunch of apps, which does a lot of JS, and like it wrangles and beautifies a lot of stuff. So you might see, so if there is a dot before it, it's a system index. You might see some sample indices for us to, just when you are starting with some apps, you want to see some data. So that is a sample data actually. So this is what indices does. You might have some parameters like, call it v, and like you will see the the headings for that some data as well. So let us simply create a an index, and then add a document, right? Why not? So doc/1, and then I'll say this one, and what should I do? I'll add event, uh, okay, event name. I just take a minute. Azure on, okay, Elastic on Azure. Let me reduce this. I hope you're able to see the screen. If not, I'll. If you, Rohit, if you could help me. If it's very small, I'm happy to, like, if you have seen comments, I'm happy to increase the font as well further. So event name you have, and then you also have like, status. Let's write status, and let us write the status is complete. Like, we are doing it now, so I guess it should be complete. I'm just typing the data, so that's what you need to understand. So it's simple data that I'm typing, and then you have this 20 0 03 2021, right? And then I'll just ingest the data. So what I'm doing is like control space to send the command space to send like the request, but you could also plus this send request. It will send, and like it creates. So if you see that it created an index azdev, it has a document in id1 result so and so, a lot of metadata in and around this thing. You could also add more and more documents. You could do bulk post as well. So in the interest of time, I'm just not showing all of those features, but I'm just going to edit a lot of this. Say sure app service, and I'll say not uh, complete, and the date is 24, and I'll, okay, sorry, and I also have I'll add one more because it helps us, right? I'll add one more, like say top 3, and then say Azure. Okay, cloud community days. Why not that? Cloud community days. It's happening on 24th, 25th somewhere, and then it's not complete. So I'll add this. So now I have data in the index, and then if you see get azdev, what it should do, it should just show all the data. No, it will not. It will show all the,
I think by any
index.
chance you stop sharing.
Okay. uh, it's probably because I might have lost internet connection in between, and then I didn't know that I was speaking. So I hope you're able to see this right now, right, Rohit?
Yes,
Can you see
clearly.
this, Rohit?
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. So I just didn't do anything special. I just added azdev, 3 documents, different statuses. I have get azdev. So what we're trying to do is like play with the index. If you see that this is the index settings. If I did get azdev, or I could also do like get azdev, like, the index name, and say settings, right? And you will see all the settings here, like what settings. I didn't do all of this. It is a default setting that has come, but you can edit that if you want. If I got through like mappings, like what is mapping? Mapping is nothing but a schema, right? You'll see that if you see here, we didn't give any schema, like say this field is this field is this. It's saying that date is text, which is wrong, but it took as text. We can correct it. It says that event is text, okay. Status is text, yes, okay. But date, if you want to change, you could change all of that. You could do all of it, but you could also run queries on top of it as well. So this is simple, trying to get the documents. You would also be able to like get the documents via, the number. Say if I want to get this, I could get that. You want to, just like, but there is no primary key here. There is no one key that you would do. You could use anything. ID is not something very specific. I'm just giving that this is a notation that you could get it, but you could also use any other field to get data. The most important part of Elasticsearch is a search endpoint, which I'll come to in a minute. So now suppose you have added this thing, and then I have given this particular document, and I didn't give the ID part, but I have added say the same thing. I'll copy the same stuff, and I'll say complete, right? And I say that it's like 727, and it says like 22. Okay, if I add this, and it says incorrect method, so it goes. So it is created, but we want this to be updated, right? Because I'm giving the same details. No, it doesn't work that way. Unless you give your the ID, it will only get updated. But in the Elasticsearch, you will delete the document and we'll add it freshly. So now you will see more documents. Like say if I go back and see the search endpoint, I'll see all of the details. Like say there are four documents. We have one more which is there. You could obviously delete it. Like say delete related. So this is a basic CRUD operation that I'm showing you. But the important thing is the queries that I'll show you in a minute. So what is the document ID? You could use this ID. See, if you don't give an ID, it generates an ID by itself. If you give an ID, it will take that. So now you could use this to like delete the data. It is deleted. Now again, if you run this old query that we have run previously, you will see. Oh, shit. Oh, I have used the wrong one. Okay, so I will get the documents as is. But the cool thing about Elasticsearch is not just this create, read, update, delete. It's not just like any other NoSQL database. The cool thing is about the search endpoint. So now if I want to do this azdev and underscore search, say all of this, but I want to run a specific query, like say I want to run a term query. So what is a term query? Term query is something like you want to track a courier. You have a field, the tracking number, right? You want to go through this data, like so many parcels you have, but you want to track only the status of a specific data. So you can do this term query, like say you can type like query, and then query is the thing that you're signifying that you're going to query this particular you're going to query the data. There is also something called aggregations, which I'll show you in a minute. So here, if you have, it will automatically show everything. Like I have a status dot keyword, I have value. What is my value? I say like not complete. So not complete, and I say run it. I see two events because two events are not complete. Say if I say complete, so you might see it's very because the data is small, it comes really fast and gives you very quick results. But you can also like kind of go around and see have a large amounts of data. A lot of these courier tracking companies use Elasticsearch as a search engine to search all of these details like FedEx, etc. So that being said, there are multiple ways you could go around. Elasticsearch can be used for structured querying, unstructured querying, semi-structured querying. You could do all of that. You could also use SQL. Of course, we don't support joins and data transactions. Maybe we'll figure out a way in some point of time. But then, like currently, joins and transactions are not supported from the SQL point of view. But you could also join multiple data. You could correlate data using the query DSL. So this query language, whatever I use, is called query DSL, query domain specific language. But otherwise, you could look into that. So I'll just modify the same query to show you one more feature, and then we can get back to the Azure part, because I think I am running out of time, and then you might get bored as well. So I have event. So I'll say event stat count. This is like the event, this thing that we want. I also want to use a terms aggregation. So what terms aggregation does is like take the data and find out. So if I give a specific field, and it'll kind of like count it and give me a count. That's the terms specific terms aggregation will do. I can do bucketing, I could do sorting, I could do a lot of this on top of aggregations. So aggregations is the one that helping you to do this analytics on top of Kibana actually. So I'll come back and I'll just say, okay, let us use the status dot keyword itself. And then if I run, see, query and aggregations are different. So you will see a separate tab. This is a query tab. I could the hits tab, that you will get for the search part. You could also remove that and run this. You will see event stat count, and it's saying like complete is like specific. It yields a specific result. Like if I use it not complete, the query, I'll get different sort of doc count. So you could do this, run these queries in bunch. This is very simple that I'm talking about. You could do much complex queries, much complex pipe aggregations, like one over one another. You could find averages. You could find a lot of these things pretty much easily. One last thing before we end, I just want to show is like azdev. So one thing that we could do is like you could always create the mapping. So please remember that you could change the mapping by editing it. Just copy paste it, and then change the data type into a way that you want. So you could do that, and then like you could change the mapping in a way that you specifically want. This takes a bit more time, but I have covered. I have documents. I have blogs that I spoke about. I'll just ping you that in the comment section. I have recently written a blog as well about the indexing and the mapping, etc. So you will get complete knowledge of it. So we'll look into that. So one specific thing, other specific thing that I want to show you is, if you are looking at the Kibana and everything, you could now add data, just sample data, and then try to see what's it like, what it is like being doing analysis from Elasticsearch. Uh, so I'll just show you that in a minute, and then we'll get back to what we are doing. So if you see here, there are multiple things here. Like for search you could use this. For observability you have logs, metrics, APM, etc. Like if you go to the logs area, and it will show you all the data related to logs. Streaming logs, you could do streaming logs like tail. You don't have to do the tail, and it will simply use that. There is an interesting feature called canvas, which we often talk very less about it, but it's very interesting. You can do presentations using Kibana. And for example, if you're e-commerce company, and if you have data getting updated real time, and then you want to showcase it to your boss, or you want to put it in an office in a screen, and then keep monitoring things every time, uh, this would really help you. Like, see, the data is getting updated, and you have the data being picked up from a specific data source that we have added, and then it simply works. That's it. So it's as simple as it. So it's very interesting, and then you might really want to kind of take a look at that as well. So yeah, so there are multiple things that you could do with Elasticsearch, and then it's very interesting to kind of do. uh, I'll just get back to the presentation and show you some more stuff, and then we can end. So data ingestion from Azure, there are multiple ways. Like I showed, you could use beats, APM agents. We have something called APM agents, which is something like, if you have heard of Datadog or New Relic or App Dynamics. So all of these are application tracing platforms, where they have packages that you could put in your application, which keep your data. We also have open telemetry compatibility. You could use one of these agents and to push data to Elasticsearch, the platform, the solutions that you have, or agent or beats. But also, if you have Event Hub, Azure Event Hub is an event streaming platform, like wherein you could get all the data, like your access logs, diagnostic logs, or logs from a specific service, like app service, Kubernetes service, or a VM, or even container instance data, or like cloud storage related logs, etc. You could pull it and push it to Azure Event Hub as well. So we have integration to that, and you could pull data from there as well. So that is one another way to look at. In the end, I want to say that Elasticsearch is like an ocean, and it's like a huge. We have touched the tip of the iceberg, and we have only grazed the surface of that iceberg tip as well. So if you see here, there are multiple things that we didn't we spoke about queries, and the query DSL. I spoke about query context, and again in the aggregations, I guess I spoke about terms aggregation somewhere, which is there here, and again I didn't talk about a lot of things that I mentioned here, and then it gives you a lot of things actually. So the interesting thing that we are doing with Azure now, I just want to tell you that if you want to join a closed beta of native Elastic search integration into the Azure platform, like more native integration, more close integration, if you are excited, if you are an org, specifically if you want to join this closed beta, please click on this link and then fill up the Google form. We would be happy to assist you. We would be happy to help you get started. This is a closed beta, so if you are an Azure customer or something, maybe this will excite you, and also get you a lot of stuff actually. This is going to be very different, and this is not what I showed previously, but this is going to be more closer actually. Now, that being said, thanks for joining the session today. We have the Slack group. If you want to join the Slack community, there are multiple stuff. You could ask questions there. We have the community.elastic.co, through which you could attend meetups like these, join us. So we also announce on the community.elastic.co these meetups. We have chapters. You could join them. We do workshops there, so you could also attend some of these workshops, free workshops. You could join them. Uh, Questions? Yeah, this is the time. So if you could remove my screen, and then Rohit, you could add yourself. I'm sorry for the background noise, but then, like, yeah, if you have questions.
Yes, I'm just going through the questions. Well,
Oh, okay,
take
there are a lot
actually
of
from
questions.
starting, so we missed few questions earlier. So I'll take them.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. Okay, is Splunk using Elasticsearch? I just want to pick that up, Jatin. No, actually, Splunk is a different platform. Elasticsearch is a competitor to Splunk. Elasticsearch also does schema on. You might want to read that. Elasticsearch does schema on write. We also do schema on read, but Splunk only does schema on read. We are more faster. We are more price competitive or performant when you compare it with Splunk. Splunk is a proprietary platform. We are a free and open platform. You could download, run perpetually. We don't ask you anybody. So that is one another thing to look at. Meanwhile, I think while you put more questions, Rohit, I just want to share one blog here. You could share it to the people because I mentioned that, and I'll take up some more questions as well. So yeah,
Sure.
I wrote a blog
So
on Elasticsearch Index. You could put it on the thing, or like you could send it as a follow up. So
yes,
there are two licenses for Elastic products, and what are the main differences? So two licenses. Actually, there are probably more. I'll also share you one more link. Is like it is elastic.co/subscription. Uh, so which is like a place that you could go definitely go and look at, like to find out all the license related information. Okay, I think I typed the URL wrong, but I'm typing the exact URL. So this is the exact URL, and there is a free license like that. You could use it perpetually. There are a ton of features there, but you want specific enterprise features like integration with a cloud SSO, integration with an Active Directory, or integration with some specific stuff, or you want cross cluster search. Those are the things that are not available, and those are part of the license as well. um, okay, what are log shippers? So log shippers are, suppose if you are using an application, and then you want to ship that log that is generated on your application server or your laptop. Even you put a file beat. A beats is a log shipper. Fluent is a log shipper. There are multiple tools that helps you to do log shipping, but beats is more useful because we sanitize that log, take the important bits from that log, and then ship it to Elasticsearch for you to do data analysis on top of logs. Log analytics is very very popular in the industry, and Elasticsearch is the leader in doing log analytics actually. And yeah, what is that? What else? I think we have one more question from Vishnu. For Kubernetes-based deployment, do we need to install Elastic Agent on each pod for collecting logs? So Elastic Agent isn't really currently, it's in beta, and it's not it's not supporting Kubernetes as of now, but we are going to very soon going to support that use case as well. So if you want to deploy pull logs, metrics, and traces from Kubernetes platform, you could run beats as a daemon set. Like say you could use file beat, metric beat, packet beat, or you could run some of these beats as a daemon set by enabling the Kubernetes configuration. We also have auto discover feature through which you will be able to like find out the logs and the system automatically, and then like sanitize the data. Suppose if you are running Nginx application, we automatically enable the Nginx module. If you are running Redis application and Redis container comes up, we automatically collect the logs metrics of Redis, and like we make it available for you to visualize. And this is free. I'm not talking about it, a paid platform. So Kubernetes is like from an Elastic agent, it's not, but you should be able to like kind of run it through daemon sets and beats. So yeah, so that's the thing. So I didn't get the question of Manjay, but we'll move over. Manjay, if you have more questions, like please ask and below, and then like I'll add. One more question from Yuraj saying that which one is better, Kibana or Grafana as visualization? Fantastic question. Thanks for asking. Because we are very much very much interested in making better experience for both Kibana and Grafana users. Kibana is used for Elasticsearch visualizations. Whenever you store data in Elasticsearch and you want to visualize it, Kibana, and you want to manage data and you want to do specific operations, Kibana is naturally chosen choice. But then you have multiple data stores and you are using Grafana as a UI to collect all of that. Have an active partnership with Grafana, so we are not a competitor or something like that. We are a partner with Grafana, and then recently it was announced. You should definitely take a look at it. And we want to make the experience for Elasticsearch users much better, to make the first class, best in the class, like Elasticsearch plugin for Grafana. So you might use Grafana when you have multiple, what do you call, data stores. Like, you have InfluxDB, you have that, this and all for storing multiple stuff. Then it might be an option. But if you're storing your logs metric traces Elasticsearch, in fact, Elasticsearch is also used for long-term data store. You might be using something today, but you might also want for the long-term use case. Then, like, you might very well use Kibana. Kibana has a drag and drop visualizer that I didn't show you today. Like, it's called the Lens. So you might really want to like take a look at Lens as well. It does drag and drop just like Power BI, and then or Tableau. You would just be able to like kind of do all the visualizations, do stuff. Kibana has many features and many stuff that helps you to do all of this. So it's your choice, end of the day. And we want to work wherever you are, do better for wherever you are. Yeah. So the next question is like why we have two types of Elasticsearch, such as Logstash and Beats, and what type of algorithm used there. Uh, I didn't understand why we have two types of Elasticsearch. I'm not really sure. We have only one type of Elasticsearch, which is Elasticsearch. I didn't understand the question from that point of view. But that being said, Logstash and Beats are supporting modules, are modules which will ship data from uh, anywhere and sanitize and push it to Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch is a data store. Logstash is a data ingestion tools. Logstash and Beats. Logstash is pull based. Uh, Beats is push based. Like, it will push the data from a source to destination. Logstash is kind of I meant to say is pulls the data from a database, pulls the data from a source, all of that. ES has to be installed on each node or Logstash. There's a collection of features into ES node. How does this handle node failures, Anil? So great. ES has to be installed in each node if you are creating a cluster. So we recommend to run at least two nodes, not three nodes, at least two nodes, because it's a distributed system. And if one node fails, other node should pick up. Right? Three nodes is the best. Five is great and awesome. So if you are looking to run a log or some sort of a platform for say 3 years, say at least 1 year, it needs to be reliable and stable. So the software recommends it to be running at least on 2 3 or like at least 5. So and the node things are handled automatically. We handle all this quorum. You just need to pair it, you need to connect the network, and you need to do all of this basic configuration if you are deploying on Azure VM. To essentially solve all of this, what we have done is like we have this managed service that you could use on Azure. You have to anyway host it, and then like you could very well use a regular stuff rather than using something else. So better use that, better look into that thing rather than like building stuff on your own. But if you're very interested to do that, go ahead, but use this particular thing. Logstash collects the data, but we recommend you to use the Beats if for most use cases, because Logstash might need more stuff. So just avoid using Logstash for and doing work on your own. Don't reinvent the wheel. We make sure that you ask a question, and we have support for most of the log sources that you could use Beats, and you don't need to wriggle around with data processing, etc. So yeah, just ask us, and we are happy to tell you what you could do. Right? You could join Slack and ask us as well. How did you get that? Okay, so it is not a hologram. So it is, I'm using a app called so
A lot of
I'll
people
pick
are
that.
actually asking this question, Arvind.
So it is an app called, I'll just ping it. If I pronounce it also, you will feel it. Is it weird? It's called and the logo is here. If you see that in the right corner, you could also use this in your meetings, even if the meeting is not supporting the background. So check out. So, okay, could you tell specifically on what are the ingest node and when to use? Ingest node is kind of you could think of it like a replacement or something. It is a mini version of Logstash. So, for example, if you have a log source and you just want to like parse the data, structure it in a specific format, better use ingest node and ingest pipelines. Declare the node as ingest node, ingest dot node is equal to role is equal to true, and then you will be able to get the ingest node facilities. Ingest node takes all the data ingestion. It will go through that, and because that has a pipeline, data pipeline, which will process that data. Again, data pipeline again is a API. We also have the UI in Kibana. Again, I didn't show that. We don't have time for all of that. So, but you find Google ingest pipeline, Google that and understand, then you will be able to better understand what, why, and how you could use ingest node. So that's how you need to do all of that. It is much easier to do all of that. So ingest node is specifically when you are having ingestion and then you want to process the data, and that is how it will help. Yeah. uh, okay, probably use. So there are many search keywords in Outlook itself, like you might very well use those keywords. I used to do that when I'm trying to search on Outlook as well. So okay, I think we are getting near to the end. Yeah, so there are many search engines that are working, so please get into know. Ankur has a question saying that is it possible that Elasticsearch can work with Cosmos DB? Obviously, like you could definitely use Elasticsearch with Cosmos DB. Use MongoDB. I think MongoDB, sorry, use what do you call, I forgot to say, use Logstash. There's a plugin uh, through which you can connect through JDBC and then like pull the data and give a search experience on your Cosmos DB data. So you could do that as well. We have integrations to almost all the systems that you could see. So because it has API, so you could build some of them. We already have. That's why I say we have for a lot of stuff. So just avoid doing it by yourself and just use it by default, and it's easier to do that. So yeah, then best practice to keep the documents how to link with the list. So Ankur also has the question that documents, then what would be the best practice to keep documents how to link with Elasticsearch engine? So I think if unless you are using Elasticsearch as a search engine, you don't need to worry about the IDs. You don't need to worry about the stuff. You all need to worry about like the data coming in. How do I throw away this data? How do I extract the information and throw that is unneeded thing to me? So that's how you need to think about it. In ideal cases, even in this, when you're building search engine, it's quite easy for you to kind of manage this. Leave the IDs and all to Elasticsearch. We will manage it uniquely, and there is nothing specific that you need to worry. We manage all of that easily. You just need to look at that. Is this using GraphQL behind the scenes? In fact, actually, GraphQL came after Elasticsearch probably. Elasticsearch has this query DSL. People has a GraphQL layer on Elasticsearch APIs, so that they could use GraphQL along with Elasticsearch. There are some popular GraphQL systems, I guess Hasura as well as Prisma as well as Apollo GraphQL. They have plugins for Elasticsearch through which they could like interact with that, all of that. So it is not GraphQL behind. By the way, if you have these such sort of questions, what is behind this, how this works, or what sorcery is this, I really want to understand how can this be so fast. So you could just come to github.com/elastic/elasticsearch, download the code, go and look, or just open the code and see. If you are a Java developer, you could very well understand. Elasticsearch is a Java. Then you have Kibana, which is in Node.js and React, with some special JS functionalities imbibed, like Vega.js. We have added some other JSs as well. Then you also have Logstash is written in JRuby. We are actively moving into Java. It's mostly done. Then you have Beats, which is in Golang. We use a lot of Golang. We use a lot of Scala. We use a lot of every language is there. Python for a lot of stuff. There are a lot of components that are involved. We have different REST clients. We have Rust client for Elasticsearch. We have Lua client. We have Perl client. Everything is there. So yeah, I'll share the deck as well, so don't worry about it. And yeah, I think how is Elasticstack different from Azure Sentinel? Thanks for asking this question. This very interesting question. So Azure Sentinel is a SIEM platform as well. Elasticsearch also does SIEM, but people use Elasticsearch as also a search engine, like I said. So when you have tons and tons of data, and which is again stored on cloud storage, which can be stored, but it can be queried in like less than 30 seconds of time frame without you going running the query and going for a coffee, or you could simply run the query and get the results. And then you could do all of this analysis part if you are a security analyst and you want to build a SOAR platform, or you want to build a threat hunting platform, you want to build a what do you call analyst based cases and other platform, you want to collaborate with this thing. More interestingly, we have cross platform integration with your AppSec workflow. Suppose we are all, because we are also ingesting app log sources, you can correlate much better, and you have integrations to every known say you don't need to be like only one specific platform. The benefit is like you could have an McAfee endpoint, you could have a Sarikata specific IDS or IPS solutions. You have many stuff, and it still gets to a common place, and you could still search faster, you could still collaborate with your teammates, create cases to ServiceNow, PagerDuty, and all of that. What else? Like I think that itself is like a big thing, and the data is all managed and stuff like that. So that is one thing. But if you have any more stuff, I think I have a slide deck that I could share. Please join our Slack, ping me, and I'm happy to say that. I'll also ping the Slack link, and then so that you could be able to say that. Yeah. So I think I think I'll post a Slack link as well as but also I'll take a last question that is from Ankur. Uh, yeah, posting the Slack link so that you could get that. So Ashish has a question like, we have 70 million various types of documents stored into various systems, which are in terabytes. Yes, required to ingest all documents, or yes, can crawl and store indices only. So first of all, I need to so this is a question which I have questions to you, Ashish. So again, please reach out, but I'll tell you a general answer. So how it really works is, if you have data in different data stores, like it could be a NoSQL data store, or it could be a RDBMS system, or internal file share or something. So the data needs to be in Elasticsearch adjustable format. I mean, like the data needs to be understandable from Elasticsearch point of view. So what you could do is like, you could ingest the data, keep and snapshot it, and snapshot it to a specific what do you call the cloud store, or your own file store, or whatever you run internally as well. So and then we could also query on snapshots, like we could also query on that, what do you call, the bulk data that is stored in your archive, like a glacier or something like that. You put all of that in a specific place, your data lake. We could query on that, but without ingesting at least once, we will not be having that the queryable format, that we will not be able to query that. So that being said, you could crawl that data, make indices, cut the cake out of it, throw it into a blob store. Don't keep large cluster, like like I said, in terabyte cluster, and then you could simply go ahead and do that. So you could use Logstash to pull this data from the source, or you could give beats. The beats can ship tons and tons of data as and when you generate. It could push all the data into Elasticsearch, and then like you could do all of that. So yeah, that's about it. And if you want any specific help, you have specific architecture and stuff like that, let me know, and happy to help. Yeah. So that's it from my side. Thanks for attending, and thanks for having a lot of very interesting questions. I had really fun talking to you all. Of course, in person would be much better.
Thank you, Arvind, for answering most like all the questions. So like we hardly see speakers attending all the questions live during the session. So and our audience also feels very good. Like so at the same time they get their questions answered. That is really good. Thank you.
Thank
So
you so
yeah,
much.
we have also shared that Slack channel link. So guys, do join that channel to, like, if you have any queries or anything related to Elastic, you can like post it there, and I am very sure that Arvind will be answering them there.
Yeah, sure.
So
Definitely, I would like to again share one more link. So one last link for the day. So if you are interested in the closed beta, this is a joint partnership, and then if you are interested in the closed beta, please join our like closed beta to give it a shot and share the feedback. If you are from an organization attending this session, specifically you are a Azure customer or a Azure user, and if you have suggestions to us about this technology, if you are a user using Elasticstack, I think please please join this session, and I'm happy to, like, I mean, please join this particular Google form and then, like, beta program. Yeah. Wait, please bring it whenever you're ready.
yes, I have just shared it. So yeah, people do, guys, fill out that form.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah,
before Arvind leaves, like, I'll just like to mention, like, as like when we started this today's session, I mentioned that this is not just today. Like, Arvind is going to give a session, so this was just the introductory one, and we are also having a advanced level session in next month. So the event details will be updated soon on the website. So do register for the event and join again to attend the session with Arvind. So you can follow him on like his social channels. He's very active, and if you have any doubts, he'll be right there to answer you.
yeah. I
And
have pinged that link as well, Rohit. If you could share that, it would be good.
yeah, we'll share
So
that. Actually, there was one problem. So the your name was coming white color font, and our background is also white, so that's why it was not coming actually. So I'll
no,
share
no,
in
no,
comment
no, I'm
box.
saying that I have pinged you in the chat, so please ping it in the comments whenever you are done the
Sure,
session.
sure,
Yeah. So
sure,
my DMs are open, so you could DM me as well. So yeah,
sure. We are, yes. So here is Arvind's Twitter. So thanks a lot, Arvind, for joining us. And yeah, hereafter we'll have a quiz as well. So you can
sure.
also take a part of that quiz if you want.
I will. I will.
Sure. Thank you so much,
Thank
Arvind,
you.
for joining us today. See you again.
Sure.
Okay. Bye. So that was Arvind from Elastic. We hope that you all like the session. Yeah, definitely, because he's a really good speaker and he's very much into communities. So do join us for our next meetup by Arvind in month of April. So the session details will be shared on the website soon. So before we get started with the quiz for today, I'll just like to mention about our upcoming events so that you can join if you're interested. I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So as I mentioned, like this is Azure Developer Stories, Azure Developer Community website. So today we had Arvind, and we have two upcoming events. One of them is Cloud Community Days, and one is Meetup session by Arvind. So here it is, Cloud Community Days. If you haven't registered for the conference, do go and join for the conference. The link is ccdays.confo.com. We'll be sharing the link of the website in the comment box soon. The conference is on 24th and 25th of March. We have really exciting speakers. They are industry speakers and there are community contributors as well. So do join for sessions and workshops on serverless and DevOps. So if you're looking to get started with Azure, like cloud technologies, then this is the best platform. And even though if you are experienced, then still this is a go-to platform for you to join the conference. And yeah, see you all on 24th and 25th. We also have Azure Developer Stories running. So Azure Developer Stories is a contest where we are inviting developers to share their experiences on Azure. So if you have built anything on Azure, then you can write a blog on it or create a short video like how you have built the project using Azure services and submit it. So we have already got so many good submissions. So if you are a valid submitter, we'll be updating it on the website. And if you are one among the top 50 valid bloggers, you'll be getting a cool T-shirt. And also, you have a chance to win Surface Pro X. Obviously, the top 5 winners will be getting Surface Pro X laptop. We also have Azure exam passes for everyone. We also have swag pack. So yeah, do go and submit your blogs before 3rd of April. So the last submission date is 3rd of April. And yeah, that's all. So now we'll be sharing the quiz link with all of you. Just give me a second. So, so guys, here is the quiz link. So once you join this link, you need to give your details. And I would request you to give your correct email address and phone number because the top winners will be getting Azure certification vouchers. So if you are one among the top winners, then we'll be reaching out to you over your email and phone number. So if in case you're giving an incorrect email address, then we won't be able to reach out to you and provide the Azure exam vouchers. So yeah, here is the link. Do participate. And you just need to give your name, email address, and phone number. So there will be questions related to Azure. So let's see how many people are participating. So yes, if you are one among the top winners, you'll be getting Azure certification voucher worth $165. So it's really amazing. With that exam pass, you can sit for the exam for Azure certification and you can get certified. Here is the link being shown on a screen. So to attend similar events like today, you can visit Azure Developer Community website, and from there, you just need to join your nearest communities. So you can find your nearest communities, join them, and you can see all the upcoming events coming up. So once you register for the meetups, you'll be getting regular notifications on it. So yeah, do join and register for your nearest communities as well, so that you get connected with us and join our upcoming events as well. So we'll close this quiz by 12:40. So we have 6 more minutes left for the quiz. I'll also share the link here in comment box. Okay, so we have Jatin Agarwal and Raisuddin. So we'll close the quiz at 12:40. So to be one among the top winners, you need to answer most of the correct, like you need to give as many as correct answers, and also there's a time limit as well. So the ones taking less time will be considered as the priority ones, will be coming on top. We have our next meetup on 28th of March by Ashirwad. So do join for the meetup. So we have Anchal, Deepak, Jatin, Rais, and Ankit. All right, we have just 3 more minutes left for the quiz. We have 2 more minutes for the quiz. If you haven't taken part in the quiz yet, we already have 10 participants. All right, just 1 more minute left for the quiz. By the way, guys, if you couldn't win Azure exam passes today, don't worry. We have Cloud Community Days coming. There also will be running quiz for our participants, so you can participate there and win exam vouchers. So just 30 seconds left for the quiz, and then we'll stop it. Okay, so we have Ambarish Ganguly with 10 correct answers. That's really awesome. So that's all, and with this, we'll be closing the quiz. So here are the final results. Thank you all for participating. We'll be reaching out to the winners over email, and we'll be sharing the exam vouchers. So, guys, do join Azure Developer Community for attending upcoming meetups. Also, participate in Azure Developer Stories to contribute to the community by sharing your experiences on Azure by writing a blog or creating a video. And do join for the Cloud Community Days coming on 24th and 25th of March. Registrations are open. It's completely free conference. Do join. All right. So with this, we have come to the end of today's meetup. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope to see you all in our upcoming events as well. Until then, take care. Goodbye.